On today's show, we're going to explore some of Meta's recent updates. They've been making some big changes and announcements. Some of them, it seems like they tried to bury them the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is usually when companies announce things they don't want people to hear much about. We're going to jump into all of that right now. My name is Jerry Potter, host of the social media marketing talk show from Social Media Examiner. We break down all the latest social media news and what it means for marketers like you. And today I'm excited to be joined by Mari Smith. Mari is a leading expert on Facebook marketing, author of The New Relationship Marketing as well. She helps small and medium-sized businesses master organic Facebook marketing through consulting, training, and coaching. Mari, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jerry. It's always a pleasure to hang out and talk story about this crazy thing called Facebook.
Yes, well, and some of these announcements lately, which I'm excited to get into, normally, and you may feel the same way, when Facebook announces something, even if I disagree with it, I go, I get why they're doing that. But some of
Yeah.
this stuff, I'm like, where are they going? And so maybe you can shed some insight on all this. So first, let's talk about the big announcement they made about content moderation. They've had fact checkers in place and all this stuff for the last several years, and now it's all changing. So tell us about the changes, and then what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a huge aspect of it is to do with the incoming president. And I guess as we've all just been kind of eating our popcorn and witnessing this movie in front of us, it's just the name of the game that Zuckerberg has been very influenced by the outgoing administration and clearly very influenced by the incoming. And so my understanding is that the third party fact checkers are being let go of, the vast majority. They're moving the remaining ones, locating from California over to Texas. And they're going to adopt a system of fact checking, much like Elon Musk's X platform, where it's got these community notes, kind of like upvoting or downvoting. It's just my mind wants to say something like citizen journalism. It's like the
Hmm.
us users, we're the ones that are going to potentially be holding each other accountable as to what's true and what's not. I'm seeing mixed reviews on that, Jerry, as to, is that really the most effective way? Is it really going to be acceptable to users on Facebook? My concern, I will tell you, is that what we're going to see with content restrictions removed, we're going to see just a big old giant free for all. And what I often have said, decades of being on the internet, is that what happens is when people get behind a computer or get on the internet, they can adopt a whole persona of like false bravado. There's a degree of anonymity. So you'll see them getting all fired up. And it's like, would you really behave that way if you were in a room together? You crazy human beings. And so people think they can say whatever the heck they want. There's no recourse. By the way, there was a kind of, you mentioned about Meta kind of quietly slipping these updates out when maybe nobody was watching too much, but not the fact checker one. That was Zuckerberg got on his video and said that. But the very next day, I really enjoy Casey Newton. He's the um, writer, journalist, blogger of the Platformer newsletter, and it comes in by email, and he just really has a very level-headed view of what's going on. And the very next day after Zuckerberg's video, it's like, wait a minute, Meta has also kind of quietly dismantled the mechanism that can prevent misinformation really like spread virally. So these are grave concerns of mine. There's going to be this big free for all. We're going to see all kinds of information going viral. We don't even know whether it's true or not. You're going to have to do your own due diligence a lot. Before I go into some positives or what to do about that, I will say that there is a potential upside to the removal of this heavy-handed fact checkers plus some of their AI powered filters that were deleting either posts or full on accounts, pages, profiles of users that, their whole life flashing before them because some piece of content got erroneously triggered in the AI and they got taken down, and that was really
Yeah.
difficult. So hopefully we'll see less of that. That's a good
Well,
thing.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I thought too. And I told a couple of my clients, like I have one client that deals in homeopathy, which is like natural medicine, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is also, often called not real or whatever else it might be. And so she has had this hard time getting her stuff seen, or she believes that was the
Mhm.
case. And so it's good to hear you say that too. Like certain industries that were being automatically flagged by the bots or what the AI checking, whatever it might be, you feel like might actually see an increase in reach with this change.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and just to insert as a little sidebar that anybody in remotely to do with the health industry definitely needs to check the new rules for on the ad side. Organic, you should be fine. Now, it's as you just pointed out, Jerry, but I think that's really important to keep your eye on the new rules for paid placement to do with the health. So, um, but I do feel like this whole aspect of leaders in the industry, marketers, this is the time to go high. They go low, we go high. You rise above the noise. You got to be vigilant, vigilant. Do your own fact checking. Do your own due diligence. Be mindful of what you share. Don't be too quick to just go. You see something, oh my god, and you share it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, that wasn't even real, or wasn't fact check, or it was AI created. I strongly recommend that all of us, business owners, marketers, really business page owners on Facebook, we really cultivate this culture of a healthy discourse, of positive mutual respect, and that goes in your groups too. I know with my social scoop group, I keep a tight rein on it. My team and I see people having at it, buried, two or three threads down in the comments on my Facebook group, and they're duking it out, and like sometimes I'm like, I feel like a school mom, a school teacher. I do a little hand slap. No, 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 no. Come on, kids. You know,
Yeah.
let's have some healthy mutual respect here. We're not always going to agree with everybody. I also, you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say I love that you said that, and it's like, yeah, let's take the high road. And
Yes.
the one of the first places I saw this story breaking out was in a group of entrepreneurs I'm in, a Facebook group, and they just shared a screenshot, and I replied, "Hey, screenshots are part of how misinformation gets out there. Do you have a link for this?" And I thought she was going to be like, "Oh, sure, here's the link." And she goes, "No, my friend, I got it from my friend, but I trust my friend, so I know it's true." And so I was able to actually look at the screenshot. I know my way around the meta world and
Yeah.
find the actual the article and link to it. It was legit, but it was funny that that happened. And then even my response with the source got flagged as spam. The group owner told me your comment with the source from Meta was flagged as spam. So they're going to have to
Oh.
work through some stuff here. But I really like what you said about taking the high road in all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel strongly about that. It's like don't get discouraged. I want to also say, because I've seen flying around my feeds in my community, friends, fellow social media users, is people either deciding they're going to boycott all the Meta apps, or they're just
Mhm.
going to delete it or use it less. All the things. I'm like, please careful there too. Facebook's here for the long haul. I mean, you do you, fine. I'm not here to force Facebook on anybody, but I am here to say, don't get discouraged. And just decide, no, that's it, I'm going to jump ship. I always do the mom test. So long as we have our mothers or grandmothers or friends, family, kids, extended family, community, I mean, Facebook is going to be here for the long haul. And I do feel it's important for us marketers and business owners to also maintain a presence. And so even if you just take a little bit of a break and then come back and see where things are at, but we need people to shine their light brighter. And like we've been talking about here, Jerry, just to take that high road, lead by example. And I love what you did. That's a great example with the screenshot and pushing for a link to the source. We're going to hopefully see more of that, to just holding each other accountable. Like, okay, we know that this is absolutely for certain. Let's dig in and check together.
Yeah, I think the conversations at Social Media Marketing World this year are going to be really, really interesting. So, we are
Indeed.
only a few months away now, gathering in San Diego for the biggest marketing event of the year. Are you going to be joining us? If you want to make 2025 your most successful year yet, consider attending. You're going to learn from top experts like Mari and connect with marketers from all around the world. Attendee Laura Pence said, "Social Media Marketing World has been my favorite and most effective event for networking. It's one of my favorite things to do as an adult." So, Mari, Mari's going to be giving a talk called From Fans to Buyers, How to Combine Meta AI and Facebook Features for Maximum Impact. If you want to look at tickets and grab yours now, just go to socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world. So the other big announcements the last couple of weeks from Meta, this is the one that I mentioned kind of first snuck out between Christmas and New Year, which for decades, that's where press releases go to die. Didn't happen this time. About AI-powered profiles, fake profiles from Meta, and then they came back and retracted it. So take us through what happened there and what you saw around all of that, Mari.
So first of all, it was a couple of years ago that Meta released these celebrity-based AI chatbots, personas. And even when I saw them, like whatever, Snoop Dogg and whatever else there was, I poked around and played with them. And I just remember thinking, what a joke. What a PR play. These celebs got paid millions of dollars, and it was just a headline grab. That was my opinion at the time. I'm like, this is going to die on the vine. Nobody's going to be bothered interacting with them. And sure enough, that is what happened. They pulled the plug on that, the celebrity ones. But meanwhile, what you're talking about here is indeed there was, turned out there was AI created personas, and particularly in the Instagram feed, there's a whole story blew up that some people were interacting with it and it was getting a little out of hand. And so then I think, Meta pushed back and said, oh no, okay, like they scrambled to nip that in the bud. But what is happening though is over time, and apparently it's been happening since 2023, is they're testing in the wilds these AI personas that look and act and feel just like a real legit profile. They got profile pictures, looks like a real person. They can create content, they can interact and engage with users and even have conversations. And you're like, whoa, are we in the Twilight Zone? My big question is like, why would they do this? I think you mentioned it a bit earlier, Jerry. That's like almost like we can read between the lines and we can say, oh yeah, you always like follow the money or whatever it is. Two reasons why Meta is pushing, will be pushing more heavily, just supposedly just barely testing these AI created personas, is number one is certainly to try and appeal to the younger generation and to stay relevant to them. It's new and hip and exciting, and they might be curious to come and, oh wow, I can interact, I can create an AI persona, I can interact with one. That's fun. Who cares if it's fake? Just get in there. And because Facebook is Meta's legacy platform. It's 20 years old now, about to be 21, in fact. And Zuckerberg has been obsessed for years to keep on attracting that younger demographic. And we're talking like the 13s and up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we even on Gen Beta now? I mean, I know Gen A or Alpha is still those youngers, but he has to keep going to the youngers because in order for him to stay relevant, we never want to see in the news, oh my God, Facebook's losing users by the tens of millions or hundreds of millions. You're going to see a drop in the stock price. You're going to see investors going crazy. So he has to try. I'm saying he, you know what I mean? Meta and the whole team.
Yeah.
So that's the number one reason, trying to appeal to the younger generation. And number two is, it sounds weird, but it's to spark more content, to create more content, to spark more engagement, to get that more time on site across all the demographics. And so honestly, I think coupled with this, coupled with the AI powered discovery engine, where the vast majority of the content you see in your feed, I saw yesterday, I was doing some research and it's like they're declaring it's a third, a little over 30%. But it's actually 50. I've heard them say as much as 50%, but I often see people will say, it's like 90% of the content they're seeing. The thing is, okay, will we even need followers anymore? Because now people love vanity metrics. Unfortunately, this is all. This is just going to appeal to people's egos because it's getting more and more difficult to grow your followers. But guess what? That's not the name of the game anymore. We've kind of been sold a bill of goods there. It's been
Right.
shifting this way for the last couple of years, right? With the discovery engine. Now you want to really pay close attention to followers and non-followers. Every piece of content you look, did this get seen by more non-followers? Okay, well, followers aren't as important, but people love those vanity numbers, right? So you've seen like the follow for follow, and people that will pay for bot
Oh, yeah.
followers and so on.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at. And I was doing what you do, is I was going, why are they doing this? What's in it for them? And I was even thinking of the computing costs of, because we keep hearing about how expensive it is to run anything AI, right?
Yep.
But I thought about, again, people coming back because their posts are getting more likes,
Yes.
or maybe the mental health benefit of that. But from a marketing standpoint, I was thinking like, can we get more social proof now, on our stuff, or, and then where are the ethics on that? And then if we look at our analytics or our insights, as Facebook calls them, is it going to show real likes and, AI likes? Or
Yeah,
what does it all
that's a
look like?
good
So
point. That's a good point. Yeah, because in my research there, I saw something go by about how Meta hopefully will put a disclosure on there, because they've been quite good about that with the watermarks on their images
Yeah.
generated by Meta AI, and eventually we'll see the movie gen and the videos have the watermarks. So, and even like you got that little label, like it'll say, do you have AI content in this post? Put the AI info. So surely we are going to see those disclosures on not only the profile, but like anywhere it goes, every comment it leaves. Oh, that's right, this is an AI I'm talking to here, not a real person.
Yeah. Well, and then related to that too is this other story where people are reporting seeing posts, or some are saying ads,
Mm.
not from them, with their face in it. And so what have you seen around that? And what are your thoughts around that?
I think it is intrusive and creepy.
Creepy for sure. Yeah.
Somewhere inside of Meta, deep in the belly of the beast, some team got together and decided, oh, what if we created deep fakes of users? And that's going to really spark more interest in using our AI tools. My understanding is how it's working is that Meta's using people's selfie images that have been uploaded to the generative AI image tools. So hopefully those of us who've not yet done that, you won't just suddenly see a random selfie that you took that's been doctored with AI and then represented to you in the feed. Hey, come and use our AI. So I have been resistant to that personally, and now I'm glad. But it's like they've been pushing it in, I think, Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, where it's like you take a selfie face on and then left side, right side, because it's getting almost like this 3D image of you. And then, they have that real like exciting dopamine hit, kind of like, ooh, imagine myself in a sea of unicorns, imagine myself in a hall of mirrors, imagine myself on the moon, whatever. And you're tapping into people's creativity. And so now that's where they're kind of taking that concept, and I'm sure it's somewhere in their small print that you've agreed, right? The minute you put your selfie into their AI tools, you're saying, yeah, sure, have at it, do what you like with it, Meta, right?
For sure. And the discussion among some of the team here at Social Media Examiner, it's like, okay, well, what's next? Like, next, is it going to be letting advertisers target you with a photo of you, or target your friends with a photo of you, or something like that? Which even this first thing they've done essentially violates their own rules. Like, I know you focus on organic, but on the paid side, one of their big rules is you can't act like you know too much about them. Right.
Yeah,
like when I worked at an agency, I remember the best example of something that we tried to run as an ad and it got rejected was for a restaurant. And it said, tired after a long day, let us take care of dinner, come pick it up to go. And it got flagged. And I ended up talking with somebody at Meta, and they said, well, you can't let them know that they're tired. I remember thinking, like, everybody's tired. That's not so we had to change to say, if you're tired after a long day. We couldn't say tired after a long day, or, we know you're tired after a long day, because it was too personal. So
yeah. Well, you're right. Those are personal attributes that you're calling out, like saying, hey, are you a woman in her 50s that lives in Oregon that might want to get fitter? It's like, whoa, how did you know that, you monkeys? It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Well, Mari, thank you for sharing all of your insights on this and can't
Yeah,
wait to
can I
see your
say another
toss.
quick more
Of
thing about
course.
I do feel there's potential upside with these, what they're calling, like, the customized AI characters. So, flash forward into the future is that you might be able to have all these different personas and, conversing with one another, and eventually between the curiosity and the novelty, I think people, the masses, I call them, will go, "Oh, I don't even care that it's fake. It's at least it's getting me some reach and engagement," like appealing to that
Yeah.
vanity. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I think that's
All
the
right.
big thing is we have to wait and see, and time will tell. And
Yeah.
anyone who's, a bad actor is going to find ways to exploit the new system
Yeah.
as they often do. So
Yeah.
anyway, all
Yeah.
right, Mari, we will see you at Social Media Marketing World
Thanks,
very,
Jerry.
very soon.
Yay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Still to come, e-commerce updates and a messenger update that could be good for business. First, though, Meta is enhancing monetization for anyone who is promoting products in their content. Now, more specifically, if you work with influencers or affiliates, this is an update where rather than having to send somebody to the caption of an Instagram or Facebook reel, instead they're actually adding a more beautiful link that goes right in the main interface so people can go and buy through affiliate links right from there. And so if you have people or you are creating content around your products, around your offers, for a lot of major retailers, instead of, including Amazon and different ones that have these affiliate programs, those will be directly in the main video interface. So it's just a much better way to have that, and hopefully will increase conversions all around. Of course, in certain situations, you have to follow all of the guidelines, the paid partnership labels, that will all be part of it. But if you want to look into this, it's under the earn money option with reels and videos, and then post settings for photos and text content. And this, by the way, should be available to pretty much everybody using a business page or a professional profile. So something to look into here in the next couple of weeks. And on a semi-related note, Meta is testing eBay listings on Marketplace. So it's a new test program where a marketplace will show listings from eBay. Now, the transaction doesn't happen on Marketplace. It still sends them back to eBay, but it's a new integration. Now, they are testing this in Germany, France, and the United States, and a few people have speculated this is Meta bowing to concerns from the EU that they have too much control over Marketplace. And so it's kind of like, oh, here's some stuff from other places, but we'll see where that rolls out. And an update on Messenger live location sharing. So this kind of came out of the idea that one of the most asked questions on Facebook Messenger is, where are you? So they've now allowed users to share their location directly through the messaging platform. Now, from a business standpoint, this is, you're not going to generally ask people where their location is, I would assume. But beyond that, maybe there is a way for businesses who get asked where they are all the time to take advantage of this, or specifically anyone who is doing stuff mobilely. Maybe you are doing stuff and you're at a big festival and you wanted to be able to basically give out your exact location of where your booth was. Or if you're a food truck, or you do pop-up shops or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this rolls out and if there are business applications. But like a lot of this stuff, we have to wait till we have our hands fully on it to figure out exactly how to do it and how to best take advantage of it. So quick reminder, you can learn more about an all-access virtual or AI ticket to Social Media Marketing World today. We would love to have you join us either virtually or in person in San Diego. Just go to socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world. Thanks to Mari Smith for being on the show today. You can find her on Facebook under Mari Smith, M-A-R-I Smith. And if you want to add another podcast to your listening lineup, a couple for you to check out: the Social Media Marketing Podcast, as well as the AI Explored Podcast. Get them wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, may you be wise with your marketing decisions. Thanks, everyone. Bye.